Sawadee-kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. Today, we're discussing what is Kamma and how does it affect me. But before we get started, let me show you around. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video where I'll share some guidance of how you can take the content from this video and put it into practice so that you can see the truth and gain more wisdom and insight through these teachings. Let's talk about Kamma and how does it affect you. First, let's talk about the word Kamma. Kamma is the version of this word used in the Pali language. The source of Gotama Buddha's teachings are from the Pali text or the Pali Canon. There, he uses the word Kamma. You are probably most familiar with the word karma. These two words can be used similarly. However, I choose to use the word Kamma because that's what you're going to see most often when you're discussing these teachings with people who are practicing, reading, studying the Pali text or the Pali Canon, which is the source of Gotama Buddha's teachings. Karma is the Sanskrit language and tends to be the more popular version of this word, but I will use the word Kamma. Kamma is a natural law that governs all things. This natural law is based on cause and effect, or action and result. Essentially, everything that we do is a cause or is a certain action. Our speech, our actions, these are actions that we are taking, and there's a certain result. Because of the natural law of Kamma and the understanding that the Buddha had of this natural law, all of his teachings are based on not doing harm to other beings, reducing our unwholesome Kamma production so that we don't do harm, therefore things don't come back to harm us. So all of his teachings, whether it's the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, the Five Precepts, all of the teachings on the three poisons, everything that he's guiding us towards is guiding us towards producing only wholesome Kamma. By doing only good things in the world, only good things will come back to us. We won't cause harm to other beings, therefore we won't experience harm. This natural law is not governed by anybody. It's just a natural law that exists and it just happens. For example, gravity. Nobody governs that, nobody controls that, nobody makes sure that it's working every single day. There's no human interaction with gravity. This is just a natural law that gravity exists and everybody is subjected to it. Everybody experiences gravity. Kamma is exactly the same way. It's a natural law. There's nobody that governs it. There's nobody that turns it on. There's nobody that dishes it out or makes sure that it's being administered. It's not a reward and punishment system. It's just a natural law, just like gravity. It happens. It exists. And you'll be able to see it when we talk about the practice tip at the end of this video. I'll give you ways to help you see this natural law in practice so that you will know that it's 100% truth, so that you will have wisdom to understand that it exists. So this natural law is very much just cause and effect, action and result. If I drop a stone into a lake, it's going to cause ripples in the water. And those ripples are going to go out, and then they're going to start coming back. This is the natural law of Kamma. So in these teachings, we need to make sure that we understand Kamma very well and in detail, so that we can make good personal decisions for ourselves that lead to only good, wholesome Kamma production. If we have no clue of Kamma, that it even exists, or how it works, then we can't make good decisions. We go around with what the Buddha called delusion or ignorance or the unknowing of true reality, and therefore we're causing harm in the world, and harm will come back to us. This is the poison of delusion or ignorance or the unknowing of true reality. So the more wise you become to Kamma, the more you understand it, the more you will be able to make good personal choices that lead to good results. So cause and effect, or action and results. Many people think of Kamma as this mystical, magical thing that exists somewhere, and that it's somehow being dished out as reward and punishment. This could not be further from the truth. This is not how Kamma works. It's a natural law that exists, and it just happens. Whether you're aware of it, whether you have intentions of doing good or bad, even if you have good intention, but you speak poorly, it's going to cause bad Kamma. Even if you have good intentions, but your actions don't match those intentions, you're still going to produce unwholesome Kamma. There's some people who have never in this world ever heard the word Kamma or karma for the Sanskrit version, and just because they're unaware of that word, just because they're unaware of the natural law, doesn't mean that they're not experiencing unwholesome Kamma or wholesome Kamma production. Just like people may not be aware of gravity, they're still subjected to it. A 5-year-old child or a 3-year-old child has no idea of what gravity is, or the concept of it, or how it affects their existence. However, they're still affected by the natural law of gravity. So Kamma is exactly the same way. Whether we're aware of it or not, we're still affected by it. And that's why through these teachings, the more you understand the natural law of Kamma, the more you'll be able to make good, wholesome decisions that lead to the extinguishing of unwholesome Kamma. The goal of these teachings is to bring your mind to the point where you're so aware of Kamma, and through the Eightfold Path, you're learning how to produce only wholesome Kamma, so that essentially you extinguish all your unwholesome Kamma. The Eightfold Path will guide you in the process of eliminating all unwholesome Kamma by only producing wholesome Kamma. So our wisdom, our moral conduct, and our ethical decisions become based on Kamma and the existence of Kamma. If we're aware of this natural law, we understand how it works, then we can make good, wholesome decisions to ensure that we're not causing harm to other beings, so that this harm does not return back to us. So it's very important that you learn more and more about this law of Kamma. The Buddha gave us some very detailed teachings of all the different types of Kamma, all the different ways of generating Kamma, and how that Kamma affects us. You can study that and learn it in very much detail if you like. However, to attain Nibbana, you really only need to have a very basic understanding of Kamma and understand how your intentions, your speech, your actions, your livelihood, and all the other things that we do in this world affect our Kamma. it affects our Kamma, and therefore we want to only produce good Kamma, or wholesome Kamma. If you'd like to study further this topic, let me know, and I will suggest some books for you that you can study much more in depth if you're really curious to dive more deeply into the teachings of the Buddha about this teaching of the natural law of Kamma. Now on to some guidance that will help you take these teachings and understanding of Kamma and the natural law of Kamma and put it into practice so that you can see that it's truth and you will have the wisdom to understand this natural law and its existence. One of the best things you can do is look at your life. Look at things that have gone very, very well for you, and look at things that haven't gone well for you. You should be able to see that in the situations where things have gone well for you, that you have practiced these teachings very, very well. Whether you were aware of these teachings at that time or not. If you were practicing right intention, right speech, right action, during those times that you are practicing those teachings, again, whether you were actually aware of them or not, you will notice that good things resulted from those practices. And where you maybe had wrong intentions or wrong speech or wrong actions, you will see that bad things happened or things did not result in the way that you were hoping for. So when we practice these teachings, not only the Eightfold Path, but loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity, when we're practicing in this way, good things will happen for us. Wholesome things will happen for us. So when you learn the Buddha's teachings and you're guided to understand those and practice them, you will see more and more good things are happening for you. That's one way that you can look at the natural law of Kamma and see that it's true. Another way is you can look at situations in relationship to the 5 precepts. Look at the 5 precepts because the 5 precepts are designed to significantly reduce your unwholesome Kamma production. So by not killing or harming living beings, by not stealing, by not having sexual misconduct, by not lying or having false speech, being a truth speaker, and by not taking intoxicants or things that would cause heedlessness, you will see that by doing that, you will significantly reduce your unwholesome Kamma production. I provided some guidance in the book to help you see these examples for yourself, but you need to see Kamma very, very clearly. The more you practice these teachings, the more you will see that you're producing wholesome Kamma, and the more easy, the more clear, the more calm, the more peaceful your life becomes because you're not producing unwholesome Kamma. So get in touch with Kamma. See that it's real. See that it's truth. See that it exists and that you now have the wisdom to know anytime you're doing harm, it's going to come back to you. Anytime you're doing good, wholesome things, that's going to come back to you. And keep in mind, you can't run and you can't hide from your Kamma. While you may be able to kind of circumvent or kind of not have bad things happening to you for some certain period of time, eventually Kamma is going to come back to you either in this life or in future lives. So the goal of these teachings is to extinguish all unwholesome Kamma production so that you're only producing wholesome Kamma, you can reach to Nibbana, and you never are reborn back into this world. So the sooner you understand Kamma, the sooner you understand the teachings of the Buddha and start extinguishing your unwholesome Kamma, only producing wholesome Kamma, the sooner you will get to Nibbana, the sooner you will have a peaceful mind, a serene mind, a peaceful life, and you won't have to come back and continue to repeat life in either the human form or any other forms as well. So Kamma is utterly important to understanding the Buddha's teachings and what he has to share with us about not causing harm to other beings. So thank you for watching. Be sure to put these teachings into practice so that you know without a doubt Kamma is 100% truth, and now you have more wisdom and less delusion, less ignorance, less unknowing of the true reality. We're diminishing this poison of delusion or ignorance or unaware of reality through awakening the mind to understand the natural laws of existence. That's what learning the teachings of Gotama Buddha does, and that's what you can practice so that you can see the truth for yourself. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Sawadee krap.